Right now, a brother need prayer. So, about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, one of my day one homies, friends for 40 years, his son was shot 3 times. He survived the shooting. He has to get a plate in his leg. He was shot in his back, in his hip, and in his leg. 3 days ago, one of my homeboys that's been dead since 2006, his son was shot in the arm. He has to get a metal plate put in his arm. And just last night, another one of my day one homies, all the way from the Big Wheel days of 40 years, 17-year-old son was gunned down, and he didn't make it. Now, I don't know what's going on. Well, 2 years ago, one of my other homies from my crew, his son was shot in the head. He made it. My homeboy last night's son was shot in the back of the head, 17 years old, coming out of the Chinese store. I got people that I know that I'm cool with, but these guys that I'm mentioning now are my friends from my block that I grew up on, that I've been friends with for 40 years. These are my day one homies, my day one friends. And I've seen death before. I've seen death on many different levels, but I have never seen my childhood friends. I've never seen my childhood friends have to mourn the death of their children. I've never seen it before. And when I got to my homie not too long ago, and we seen each other, when he grabbed me so tight. And me, him, and one of my other homies, I never seen this man cry this hard. And we just fell to the ground. Me, him, and another one of my homies, and all of us just held each other, laid on the ground for about almost 5 minutes just crying. And like I said, I've seen death. I've even had family members die. But I've never seen any of my homies. It's kind of like I've never seen none of my siblings die. I've never seen none of my best friends' children be murdered. And to see a grown man cry, scream. Now I understand when I was a teenager and I was causing havoc all in the community, why my father was the way he was. Every time he sees something on the news, he pick up the phone and he called me. As a parent over 45, it's terrifying raising your children in this community. And all of those shootings that I named that went on, that's been going on in the last 2 weeks with my friends, these are all separate shootings. They're not related. It's bad because you're watching one of your best friends in so much pain, and there's nothing that you can do to make them feel better. There's nothing that you can say. One will say, well, George, y'all got to get revenge. Y'all got to go handle y'all business. But 2 weeks ago when my other homeboy's son was shot 3 times, I had to tell the crew, yo, we old now. We the old dudes. We old men to the community. We consider old men. We over 45. We consider old guys. When I was growing up, there was no cameras. There was no social media. I told y'all that the urban criminal is obsolete. I come from the era of the urban criminal. We can't go out and get revenge and shoot up nobody, kidnap nobody, bring harm to nobody. Everything is on camera. And we got way more to lose. All of us got wives. All of my homeboys I just named whose sons were hurt, are all married men. All of us got wives. We all raising other children. 30 years ago, we didn't have no wives or children. We was just running wild. We had nothing to lose. At least that's what we thought. But now, how can we go out and get the revenge that we would want to get? And that's what make it even more painful. They shot my homeboy's son in the back of the head. I remember I used to pick him up and carry him, take him to the store. I used to always take him to Pizza Hut. Him and my son. He's 3 years older than my son. I used to have him all the time. He was like a nephew to me. And they killed this boy, the city, man. We have so much dysfunction in our communities. In the black community, man. And I don't know what's going on right now, but I know it's a dark spirit around my block and around me and my crew. Because this stuff is happening too close, like back to back to back, too close. First my homie's son shot 3 times. Then my other deceased homie, his son gets shot the other day. Now last night my homeboy, son gets murdered. He wasn't even a bad kid, man. Southwest Philly is a war zone. Has always been a war zone. And just to see something, just to see my homie scream like that, man, that's just, I already suffer from PTSD. And then seeing the little kids on the block run when I pull up, run up to try to tell me what happened because they don't think that I know. And I'm mad and I'm hollering at everybody on the block saying this shit. We lived our life, made our money, and tried to get out so our kids don't have to live this. How are we reliving this shit all over again? Why is the little ones having to come wake y'all up and explain this stuff? These are the things that I don't understand. The little kids is being conditioned to be normalized to murder. My homie's son, they loved him. All the little ones, they loved him. They all knew him. Now they trying to understand why he's dead. I come on here and I do my Urban Nerds program for a reason. We do these skits for a reason. This is why we do them. This is why we do them. I come from a real place, man, in a real life. I've been around death. And I want to try to change the mindsets of the youth, man, the best way I can. But I pray for me because I'm hurting. I'm devastated right now, man. And what hurts the most is nothing I can do about it. This is where my faith is being tested, and I got to give it to God. Oh, and last year, one of my other homeboys was murdered. A homeboy's son was murdered on the 4th of July. He's a little younger than me. He's not one of my day one homies. He's my young boy. He's like 6 years younger than us, but he's from the block. His son was murdered on the 4th of July. I did my live stream on that. Why do you think I don't let my son walk home from school and I keep him up under my arm? Because I don't trust my son around y'all, my own people. I don't trust my son around you because I'm raising my son right. You ain't. My homeboy's son was shot in the back of his head, man. And I seen it on the news and didn't know it was him. I remember he wasn't just but a little bitty baby. But make sure, man, you love on your children, man, and you protect your children, man. And if you got any issues or problems with somebody, reconcile. Because you never know when you get the last chance to see them. reconcile with them people. It's not that serious. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share to the George Macon Experience, man. Make sure y'all tuning into our Urban Nerd skits that we put on there, man. Make sure you guys supporting. You guys can support in the box down below. We got some college tours coming up. We got a couple college tours coming up, and we got a science fair we're going to. Then we going to Great Adventures this year, this summer too. So make sure, man, make sure if you guys can donate, you donate, man. But make sure you love on your family while you can, because tomorrow ain't promised. Peace.